But as I think I said, he's on his third chairman, third CEO, second CFO. Yeah, I don't think he got rid of any of the others.
What did they bill?
No, he threw them out. He told them to do something they didn't in a timely fashion. Which would be hard for some of you. The first one, the sack was tough for him. But when he got his first chairman, he moved from D.C. to San Francisco to be near the chairman. He called his mother from the airport to say that he was on his way to QLA. He didn't want to make a scene by telling her at home, I guess. He moved to Los Angeles, no job, no home, no money. He got a job in 36 hours. I think I told you, learn how to code over the weekend. So much, I told you programmers are worthless pieces of shit. Programmers are worthless pieces of shit. He's not the only guy that's learned how to code over a weekend. A fucking weekend! Then he, when he closed the deal, he moved to Chicago to be next to the deal. Because I told him I don't believe in absentee ownership or absentee running of anything. And I already told you his dad went to West Point. He's at the Pentagon. He's Korean, although he doesn't look Korean. He is Korean. He's got 8 siblings. And his mom, you heard the story about his mom. And he's a hard-working little bastard. And he was working 50 hours a week as with the company, the job he got in LA, and it was QLA in 70 hours. He'd get up at 3 in the morning. He'd make calls to the East Coast, then go to work 8 to 4, whatever it was, then come home and work till midnight. Week after week after week after week. Just like Elon said, until, you have a nervous breakdown. And we've had nervous breakdowns. And a few times over 24 years. But considering the amount of people we put through, it's de minimis. It's de minimis. And like I said, his parents did something right. Of course, he's looked into it after he did a deal. He wasn't interested in what they did right before he did a deal. Because you find all these things to look at. And like I tell the YouTubers, I wipe my ass with my right hand. That's the only thing that's not on YouTube about me. And now it is. Right hand. And, but I shouldn't be able to ask you, when I want the title of a book or title of a YouTube, or I shouldn't ask you. You should know. You shouldn't. Yet you didn't even know that Napoleon Hill's son was born with no fucking ears. I mean, where are you reading this shit? Because you even read within your comfort zone. You study and Google fuck and Wikipedia fuck within your own comfort zones, subconsciously. You don't want to know that maybe Napoleon Hill was a fucking asshole. You don't want to know that. And because of the way that, you've been trained. But I mean, so to me, he looks 15. Dressed up. He's done a couple of webinars in a t-shirt and his hair all messed up and he looks 12. He's 12. But that has nothing to do with it. Just like Matt Posius looked about the same age. And I believe that money, they've got some wrinkles. They don't have wrinkles, but they have a little bit of wear and tear. Matt does. He doesn't yet. Because Matt Posius has been successful 4 or 5 years. But, so what's your takeaway about the young phenom. He's not the only one, but I talk a lot about him. But and people, even though I tell you not to contact him, people do all the time. And they say, "Oh, I got special permission from Dan." And he emails me, and I said, "No, he didn't get, fucking just delete, forget about it." They still contact him, but he doesn't talk to anybody. And all the reasons I told you about. And the other successful guys, well, some of the successful guys don't even want to talk. They won't even do this, because it takes away from their focus. Because the good guys prepare before they talk, so they got to prep an hour and a half, and so. But it's funny to me seeing him sitting on the balcony of his house or his apartment or wherever in Chicago. So what's the takeaway about the young phenom? Yep. Everybody tells you that. Why does everybody tell you that? Because everybody does it. You can't help yourself. It's like, you say good morning in the morning. You got no reason to fucking say good morning. What's so fucking good about your night? I've said it, and the people on YouTube are tired of me saying it. I don't like good morning, because when I was in the military, what's good about it, Peanut? Did you fuck my wife last night, Peanut? No. You don't like my wife, Peanut? Why don't you like my wife, Peanut? Are you a faggot? No matter what you say, you couldn't come with a fucking right answer. And they're spitting on you right in your face, and when I was doing it, they were fucking hitting you. They hit you with a riding crop in the side of the head. Whap! On the helmet, The helmet. Are you winking at me, Peanut? You love me, Peanut? Oh, you want to touch me, Peanut? So every time you say fucking good morning to me, I have flashbacks. But anyway, your morning wasn't good anyway. What the fuck's good about your morning? It's just a friendly salutation, isn't it, Bill? Why do you want to be friendly? Is there a book written someplace? In Ethiopia, was there a book? Norway, Denmark, Italy, China. There's no fucking book, is there? Most of the things you do are done by conventional wisdom, habits, and although habits are good, good habits are good, but bad habits are hard to kick. When you start filling out in a few days the weekly report, you're going to see, and it's going to ring in your ear. Fuck, the old fart was. Look at all this shit that I do. And the ones that succeed the quickest will be able to kick the bad habits the quickest. And inadvertently, you'll write things down and you report in the third week, and you won't even know that you're doing the same thing that you shouldn't do from the first week, because it's like rote memory. You're so. But anything else about Josh? He keeps saying, "Don't overcomplicate the process. Don't overcomplicate the process. Just find somebody to fucking sell. Sound familiar? Just find somebody to fucking sell." And if he hadn't spent all that time on that big deal, I mean, he would have probably set some records.
Yeah, I like that he didn't, even though he was active, he remembered to do his cold calls. That's he didn't let that be an excuse not to get his cold calls in for that day.
You said it perfectly. Didn't let it be an excuse. Because some of you can't never stop smiling and dialing. 95% of the time it's looking for money and deals. As you get rolling and you got the machine going, you've got momentum, it's going to be looking for deals, because you will find the conduits for money. Like he said, I've got a banker. He pushes his banker around. Bankers. And just think about that, And then when the flywheel starts going around, then it's going to be deals, because you'll find 4 or 5 or 6 financial institutions that will fund you. As I did, I was fortunate enough. And then you just got to run like a crazy man to find the fucking deals. Because if you don't use them, they dry up. They'll find another Italian stallion. They'll find another kid that's hungry. But in 2017, they don't call it hungry because that's not politically correct. Hungry for what? Glory. Hungry for stopping global warming, maybe, I don't know. So, but they'll find other uses for the money. There'll be another young, star, another gal or another guy that comes along that figures out, well, shit, all I got to do is find deals with these financial institutions because they'll fund virtually anything that's within these parameters. And there's two things I wanted to make sure. He kept talking about tax returns. Okay, I don't mention that till tomorrow, but since he mentioned it today, I'm going to mention it today. Very, very few people will cheat on tax returns because of the potential liability. So that's one of the real good filters to get their tax returns, their business tax returns, to match up with their QuickBooks or whatever the goddamn tax returns. And that's a good filter, so you know if they're bullshitting you or not. Now, some people, I haven't filed this year, I got an extension, but I mean, within a year, 2 years, up to 2 years from the time you're talking, they've probably got filed tax returns. And if they don't, next. There's a reason why they haven't filed their tax returns. Just as when I see financials that are extended 19 months instead of 12 months, 30 months instead of, something's wrong, forget about it. It's not worth looking at. And one of the keys is I look at the footnotes, because all the lies are told in the footnotes of audited financials, the footnotes. And if a set of accounts, as they're called here, or financials have 309 footnotes, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So tax returns will give you a filter to ascertain whether it's worth pursuing or not. But again, it's finding the motivated sellers for companies once you go through the first acquisition or two. And like he said, he's got 14, he's got 4 LOIs, and this is a few weeks old. And he's rolling. And then he wants to get 20 done this year. He's going to really have to hump to get 20 done this year. A total of 20. He's going to really have to hump. And because he's already planning the exits. He had the idea of an exit already, but now he's already, he sees light at the end of the tunnel. And he already has a pretty good idea who's going to buy it. Pretty good idea who's going to buy it. He's rolling up small medical outpatient centers because they don't want to keep you in the hospital overnight. They want to, which is, none of them are easy, but it's easier than certainly what the hell he was doing before. But I know he wants to go back to that. He's got that in his data bank back there because he didn't like the fact that he wasn't successful at that first big one. And anything else about Josh?
Was that partially one of the reasons why he had to change his chairman, because he changed industries, etc.?
No, partially, but the chairman don't. If the chairman don't normally do much, but in his case, he wants their Rolodex. Not just him, but all of you. And part of the reason that he moved to LA the first time was to get used to that Rolodex. And one of the chairmen, something happened. His wife died or got sick, and that life happens. Life happens, and the guy, felt, after married 45 years, he should stay and take care of the old lady while she's dying, which is the right thing to do. So, but stuff like that will happen. You'll be surprised how often life happens, especially to older folks. Older folks, he doesn't know anybody in his age group that ever got sick. Well, you don't get too sick when you're 19, 18, 19, 20. And he heard about it. He heard about old people getting sick. He's read about it, but now he's experienced it when seeing some of these people. And his parents are supportive. And he doesn't have a significant other. And it's funny, he says he goes out and he doesn't drink. So he goes out and drink. He doesn't drink, so he watches these other guys drink till 10:30. And of course, now he's done them. And so now he's in a different league. They don't look so much at his baby face. But he was honest. He didn't know anything. He didn't know debt and equity. Some of you I know in this room have read books on M&A. Why the fuck? I have no idea. It's beyond me. I don't know. I'm glad that the guy that got the royalties with the book, they make a living, but other than that, I don't know why you would ever buy a book on M&A. Anything else about Josh? I mean, I'm not doing it to shame you, but I'm doing it, no background, no experience, no education, no fuck all. So, ergo what, Bill?
Ergo, therefore, use it as motivation.
Therefore, you should be able to do it. And in some cases, it helps if you have some experience. It helps if you're numerant, you're good with numbers. All those things help. And some of you have experience. Some of you are numerant. But he didn't understand what was so hard about making cold calls. He never sold anything, but the worst thing they can do is hang up on me. We've had people hang up on us, haven't we? Absolutely. But he still makes 20, 30 a day. That's why I know that he's gonna hit his goals in a short period of time, because he hasn't started the selling process. He has not stopped putting the people in the funnel. And that's really important, to keep people in the funnel. Keep your prospects. Keep the financial institutions in the funnel, and keep the selling business people in the funnel. Okay, YouTube. Thank you.